What's up, guys? Keyshawn Uchiha here, back at you with another Ultimate Universe What If. Now, I'm sorry that I haven't been posting, what ifs daily. I haven't been doing the what ifs and stuff. I'm really sorry that I haven't been doing, my part and be giving y'all videos and stuff. Instead of that, I'm really sorry. But I will be doing videos today, 2 videos, maybe 3, depends on how this goes, and if my uncles doesn't come back early. But yeah, this will be, part 4 of What If Deku was in the Black Ops. I hope y'all guys enjoy. And also, I want to give out the shout out to all my fans who's in my broadcast last, you could say early in the morning to me, but, you could say last night. Also, shout out to those guys and, supporting me in my, live broadcast and my gaming. Me playing video games with my friend Tony. If y'all don't know Tony, yeah, y'all should know him as AKA as, Sus Tony, but he's not. But yeah, thank y'all guys for, subscribing to me and always being there for me and supporting me. I'm really, grateful for y'all doing this too. Doing this for me. But, this is going to be part 4 of What If Deku was in the Black Ops. I hope y'all guys enjoy, and let's see how this goes. So where we last pretty much left off, Deku was with his team, training with his, you could say training with his team and going on missions with his team. And I would say the names for his team. One is from New Zealand, and his name is Dexter, or you could say Dex. And he is, field medic, the healer, the guy, the make sure the team is okay and patched up. We got one from America, golden hair, and her name is Jane, and she's the sniper, the lookout, and make sure the team doesn't get hit from behind or anything, and know where enemies position at. And coming from China, another female, her nickname is like Loki, but her, or you could say her name is Loki, but her nickname is Loki, you could say, and she's the engineer / trap master, you could say. And then the last one is nickname is Juggernaut, and he's the tank and more like, the guy who watch, be the set up shields and stuff, and also to let out the machine gun when it's time, and the heavy weapons, the rockets and stuff. Now, they was doing a mission at Africa, and, getting that mission done, and pretty much Deku head back to school and learn about the sports festival, which Bakugo asked him to train him, which Deku agrees to. Now, let's get to the new parts. Pretty much, Deku is training Bakugo in hand-to-hand combat, and also, training him with his quirk, helping Bakugo, get his quirk stronger, because Bakugo wasn't really training like that. Now, this is where Bakugo is pretty much, saying that, why do I have to, like, why are you not using your quirk on me to, help me, get stronger, which Deku is pretty much saying, Kashan, to be honest with you, I don't need to use my quirk on you, and even if I did use my quirk on you, you're just going to get bodied by me. I'm trying to help you understand your quirk and get stronger. And for me to do that, I'm just going to use my one for all quirk. Which Bakugo says, okay. And they pretty much start training now. Deku's teaching, pretty much helping Bakugo understand his quirk much better, doing explosions. And this is where Deku says, listen, Kashan, your quirk is really good, but you also is dirty with cheap tricks with explosions. So if you want to win that tournament and get a guaranteed win, instead of doing loud explosions and stuff and hurting you, and doing that explosions like that all crazy, you need to learn how to use your explosion quirks in dirty ways, like flicking your finger to create tiny massive explosions, without without using your whole hand, or using your elbows to create elbow explosion and all that. And I think if you can do this right, I think you can turn your explosions even higher into like a nuke, if I'm correct. Which Bakugo says, what do you mean? Which Deku is saying, use your sweat to create explosions, but what if you can use your blood as physical anger? Because you be angry when you be fighting, and if you use your pure 100% anger, I think you can make your explosions become a nuke and pretty much, nuke your opponent. Which Bakugo is thinking, saying, yeah, I think you're right. Which Deku and Bakugo, test out the thing, and you could say Bakugo is learning and mastering the massive nuke. Here comes the nuke. You could say that's the special. You could say attack name. Here comes the effing nuke. Now, the sports festival tournament comes up. Now Deku is pretty much, telling his daughter that he can come see, but make sure to be by the stands by the teachers, so she can watch him up top, which she is smiling and saying, "Okay, Dad." Now this is where she's on top and watching her dad, and she's saying, "Go, Dad, go," which the teachers and also another they look and they're saying, "This is his daughter. That's that kid's daughter," which All Might saying, "Yeah," which you know Deku was waving at his daughter. Now, this is where you could say everybody is doing the race thing, and Deku begins to, you could say, using the one for all quirk and begins to start running. He's not going to use his exosuit because he doesn't really need to use it unless it's necessary. Which the exosuit is kind of like, his bones is kind of like, as think of like Wolverine skeletal system. So if he can't get his bones broken by that one for all quirk, and if his and you think his muscles are gonna get damaged by the one for all quirk, nah, he has a powerful healing factor. So yeah, he's pretty much fine. Now this is where that could do the race, and he reached first by using his smart thinking and stuff and dodging bombs. Now he has the 100 or 1000 hit bid, and he's pretty much looking for a team to help him out. Now, this is where he points out Uraraka, Froggy, or you could say Flappy, her, and Mineta. He brings in Mineta. He pretty much takes Mineta, and he takes Todoroki. Actually, no, he takes Bakugo, and he pretty much says, "Are you guys ready?" Which they're saying, "Yeah." Now, this is where Bakugo is saying, pretty much Bakugo is like working with Deku, and they're pretty much dodging people left and right and stuff, and make sure dodging the ice quirk, which Bakugo is creating explosions to blow up the ice and all that. Now this is where Mineta is pretty much freaking out, saying, "I don't know if we can do this, guys. We're gonna lose this badly." Now this is where Deku knows Mineta is a perfect, saying, "Listen, Mineta, if you can manage to hold these people off the best you can, then I will take you to a secret place where you can see boobs. You can see boobs and titties," which Mineta is saying, "Boobs and titties," which this is where Deku and Bakugo is smiling and saying, "Yes, we know a secret place," which Floppy is saying, "Are y'all guys being serious?" Which Mineta is saying, "Alright guys, let's do this," and he begins to rip out the balls and set a trap everywhere, which everybody is just laughing of why he's making himself lead. But the moment they're trying to all run at Deku and them, they get stuck and they all start falling apart, and multiple teams are getting disqualified and stuff, and they're saying, "What the hell? Why these things are so sticky?" And Mineta is saying, "Ha, look like my quirk is not useless after all, Bakugo," which this is where Bakugo says, "Alright, don't get ahead of yourself." Now, this is where, Deku team wins, and they pretty much, take that dub. Now, for the rest of the tournament, for all the things, you could say, when it's fighting stuff, when we're gonna just go, everything happens the same, we're gonna go up to Deku and, that other person with that quirk, and he has to, if you get the question wrong, he pretty much, you can mind control you and stuff. Now, this is where Deku's looking at him, and he's about to ask Deku a question until Deku pretty much sees his quirk and see what he can do. Pretty much saying, "Alright," and pretty much runs at him. And pretty much kicks him. Sorry about that. Whew. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm so sorry that happened, but let's continue on. Pretty much, as Deku is kicking him off, this is where Deku says, "I already know what your quirk is, and I'm not going to let you do that. I might as well just end that quickly." Now, for everything else happens the same. Now, this is where, Deku is getting ready to fight Todoroki, and this is where another comes in, and he's saying, "So, I saw your daughter. Your daughter is real nice. She has the looks like you, with the green hair." Which Deku is, standing up and saying, "What do you want?" And he's pretty much saying, "I want you to help me help my son unlock his quirk, his fireside quirk." Which Deku is looking at him saying, "Huh, So what? Your son is not using the quirk because, let me guess, it was because of you. And his mom probably pulled the hot water on him and gave him that scar. And also, he doesn't use his fire quirk because he hates you because of what you did to his mom. Am I right? Which, in other saying, you little. Which Deku pretty much, you could say, backhand him to the ground, saying, if you lay a hand on me, I'll make sure my task force will end you. And not either that, my father would make sure to deal with you. Now, this is where, Deku says, you know what, I'm sorry for hitting you like that. I will help you unlock your son's quirk because it's going to be his quirk and not yours quirk. So be ready for that. And walks out. Now, as Deku begins to, walk out, this is where Todoroki is, getting ready to fight with only his ice quirk. And, doing the ice thing. And Deku is pretty much, using his one for all quirk and just shattering the ice left and right. And he's saying, come on, Todoroki. Use your fire side, which Todoroki is, out of energy, freezing up, over freezing. And this is where Deku, yells out and says, are you an idiot? It's your quirk, not your dad's quirk. I don't know why you keep thinking your dad has possession over you because of that fire side of your quirk. It's only yours quirk, and only yours. No one else, not his. So use that quirk against him if you want to. Hell, I don't even care. But you're not going to just use your ice quirk on me and pretend like you don't have the quirk. Use both of them. It's yours. Now, this is where Todoroki snaps out of it and realizes, yeah, it's his quirk. And he begins to use the fire, saying, you don't know what you just done, Deku. Which Deku smiles and says, huh, I don't know what I just done. I know what exactly did. I gave you a power-up. Now let's see what you can really do. Now, this is where Todoroki and Deku has a real fight. And, Todoroki using fire and ice, creating combos and stuff. And Deku's dodging left and right and using his explosion. Now, this is where they both collide with each other. And Deku says, the short smash 1 zillion. Because we're going to say he can handle it. And pretty much just straight up create a massive, you could say, a shockwave explosion, which everybody is looking. And they only see Todoroki at the wall, pretty much hit at the wall and falls down. Which Deku lifts his arm up. Pretty much, a couple blood is running down. And he's pretty much, having his fist up, which everybody's cheering, saying, oh my god, wow, that fight was amazing. Including his daughter saying, that's my dad, and all that stuff. Which Deku pretty much, uses his other hand and kisses, to his daughter, which, his daughter is very excited to see her dad go in action. Now, this is where you could say the fight between Bakugo and Deku commences. Now, Deku has recovered his hand completely, not 100%, but it's only at 89%. So his arm is pretty much still healing up. So he's not going to be using it. So that's why he bandages up in the fight, and he's going to use his other hand. Now, this is where Bakugo says, I want you to have your full 100% arm. So I wait, which Deku says, all right, and it gets healed up too. You could say 99%, and it turns up to 100. Which Deku takes off the bandage and says, all right, are you ready? Which everybody's saying, oh my god, he has a regenerated quirk? That was some fast healing. Which this is where Bakugo says, all right, I'm ready, and he begins to, begins to go fight Deku. Now, this is where Bakugo is, not going to use the secret room because, like I said, it's only meant for for villains, not for heroes to combat in action. But Bakugo makes another move. Now, this is where Deku's having a fight with Bakugo and stuff, and this is where Deku's saying, "Ha, look like the training I touch you have improved." Which he's saying, yeah. And this is where Bakugo switch up to, instead of using his fist as an explosion, he used his legs. And he's going to say the explosion dragon kicks. So he's just going to use only kicks. Now this is where Deku goes in for a punch, which Bakugo counter it, does a counter kick explosion instantly, real quick, sending Deku flying and almost off the ring, which Deku immediately grabs himself back up and says, huh, so So you're using a new technique, which he says, yeah, I call them a dragon exploding kicks. And he begins to start, using his legs, kicks left and right with explosions and stuff. And this is where Deku is, getting hit by those explosions and stuff, and also trying to dodge them, but it's not hitting. And this is where Bakugo does a backflip kick, sending Deku flying up in the air, and start kicking him multiple times. And then this is where he says, "This is it, Dragon Fury," and kicks him down to the ground. Now this is where Deku gets up and pretty much says, huh, "You did a pretty strong one, spin out blade." He said, "Well, I think it's time to end this." And he pretty much activates the full Callan, which All Might sees. And this is where he says, "Full Callan." And this is where he leaps at him with full speed. And this is where he does a kick, spin kick, and he says, "Drill kick." And he drills right into Bakugo's, you could say, stomach. Not piercing it, but, drilling right into him, sending him flying into the wall. Which everybody's excitement saying, "Wow, oh my god," and stuff. Hold on, be right back. Sorry, I had to fix the issue, but let's continue the story. Pretty much, Deku sends Bakugo flying in the wall, and everybody's in amazement and excited that, that Deku actually won that. Because they did that was the end of the Dragon Kick. Now, this is where, everybody's, excited that, Todoroki, he gets the third medal, and All Might is giving him the speech and all that stuff, saying he really learned something out there, and he finally showed that his quirk is his own will, which Todoroki begins to look down and cry, which and this is where Bakugo, he's pretty pissed off and saying God damn it, but he's pretty much still excited and glad that he had a good fight with with Bakugo. Not Bakugo, Deku, sorry. And, he takes it. And Deku, this is where All Might says, "I'm very proud of you, Deku. You did good, and you managed to, fight well," which, everybody's, clapping and cheering and stuff, including his daughter. His daughter runs up to him and pretty much hugging him, saying, "You did great out there, Dad," which, Deku is happy that she's saying that. Now, this is where, the sponsorship comes in and everybody takes the same job and stuff. This is where Deku, doesn't take no sponsorship because he doesn't need to, including since he knows how to use full calendar on his own, so he doesn't need to go to no man. So he's just going to go home, you could say. Now, this is where he sends his daughter to, the fan to go home with the fan, and he's going to meet her home later. This is where he goes to his team, his military team. We're going to say Task Force Zero because, they're or Task Force Prototype because they're the prototypes of soldiers that wears this, suit picture. And, they're the first ever soldiers who have these exosuits and actually got experimented on and have, you could say, exoskeleton and all that. And that technology spine, which you can see with cybernetics and all that. But, yeah. Deku pretty much is talking to the surfers, and, they're saying, "Sir." But Deku says, "Just call me Deku." Which they're saying, "Okay, Deku." Which, Deku is saying, "So, what we got?" Which they're pretty much saying they got a lead on in Russia right now, that this lieutenant is pretty much is trying to sell these secret weapons to this country that, trying to make their self independent. And trying to create World War III, you could say. Which Deku is saying, "Alright, well, we're going to stop him. So, just make sure to figure out what's the best approach to, stop this guy and get the stuff done. Why do this?" Which they're saying, "Okay, we'll let you know when anything we got." Now, this is where Deku is heading home, and this is where he sees the doors open. And he tells his daughter to make sure to lock the door, and he goes in, pretty much, you could say, creating a pistol and walking very slowly with silence, saying, "Hello?" Which this is where he sees the woman. And I forgot her name. So, Cecilia? Yes, Cecilia. Yeah. This is where, Deku looks and he says, "Cecilia." Which this is where, his daughter is saying, "Dad, look, it's Mom. She's here," which Deku is saying, "Cecilia, how did you survive? Which, this is where Celia is saying, when I got shot in the back and my daughter was running, I thought I was dead. But when I woke up, I remember, I remember, I pretty much, like, was, pretty much there was an explosion. Which I woke up and I realized I was in the crater. And then I start to realize that I have a phoenix. I have a phoenix quirk, which my family, which my ancestors had. Which Deku is saying, so, you survived the bullet. I'm glad that you're alive. But how did you get over here to Japan, you could say? But she's explaining and saying that she had a fake passport and sorry about that. I'm watching this kid, so gotta pause the video to make sure that he's okay now. Pretty much, yeah. Lucilia, she's pretty much explaining that, she has a fake passport and, she got here to see her daughter and to see him, which she pretty much walks up and pretty much kisses him, Lucilia, she's pretty much, Mizuku, you could say, Deku's daughter, is pretty much excited saying, yay, I have a mom and dad, which, she's hugging him, which, they start to be happy. Now, this is where, as Deku is getting to meet up with Lucilia and stuff, and, the daughter, she says she's going to go outside to play, which Deku says okay, and, Lucilia has their time, and they begin to start to meet up. But this is where Deku begins to have a little bit of argument. They're saying that why did it take her that long to come back if she was still alive? Well, she said she had to do some unfinished business, because if she came back, the guys would have just went after her in here in Japan and trying to assassinate her and the daughter and possibly him, which Deku said she would handle it, which she says no. She doesn't want to bring that chaos, to her family and to the one she loves, which this is where, Deku looks down and she begins to lift his chin up and it begins to, you could say, have a lovely relationship. Now, I'm not going to put into details because this is not going to be an 18 plus scene, so you could say they just had, you could say they time and they end up in bed with each other. Now, Deku's pretty much Lucia is laying with Deku and pretty much saying that she misses him, which Deku says he missed her too, and begins to get you could say, get a call from the school, which all students are supposed to meet up. Now, this is where Deku is at school, meeting where everybody is, and this is where Idan begins to tell how his brother is pretty much in the hospital because Stain the Killer pretty much damaged him and stuff. Put him in the hospital, and he may not ever get to be a hero again, which Deku begins to say, I should probably get rid of this Stain. Meet this hero Stain, and possibly maybe, get him part of the U.S. Get him a part of Japan, so he can possibly be on our side. Or if that doesn't happen, I can probably brainwash him and get him to work for us, and he can be our torturer guy. Now, this is where Deku says, I will help you, stop this Stain Killer and, stop him. Or kill him, you could say. Which, Idan says, you really help me? But Deku says, yeah, but he's really lying. He's just going to capture Stain and brainwash him if he can't get Stain on his set. Now, this is where, he gets a needle and saying, well, this is a needle that can help your brother become a hero again. But make sure to, inject him with it. Inject him in it at the back of his neck. At his, you could say at his spine, so it can refix and everything. Refix his bones and everything. Now, this is where he gets injected. This is where says okay and begins to go to his brother and inject him with the needle in the back. As Deku says, his wounds are slowly healing. Sorry about that. My sister came in. God damn it. But let's continue. Pretty much, Idan does it, and Idan thinks that this needle is pretty much used. That he pretty much made his brother injured worsen, but he started realizing that his brother is healing. His brother is moving again, and moving all his bones and stuff, and it's healing. But it's healing his bones and stuff and fixing them up. So, but Edon begins to call Deku, saying, "Thank you for doing that for him. But are you ready to fight Stain?" Which Deku says, "Yeah." Now, this is where the nobles begins to attack, and Stain is out there, which the villains trying to get Stain on their side and all that. Now, this is where meets Stain, and he gets caught up. Now, this is where Deku begins to have this suit, and no one doesn't know about the suit that much because it evolved. And Stain is saying, "What the hell is this thing?" Which Deku begins to pull out the gun and shoot Stain in the legs two times in the two legs, which Stain is falling on his knees and he's saying, "What the?" And this is where Deku shoots him with the needle in the neck, pretty much passing out Stain. And Edon is pretty much saying, "What? Hey, come back here! I'm not done with him. I'm the one who's supposed to kill him." Which Deku looks behind Edon, saying, I'm sorry, but I need Stain. He says it in his head, saying, "I'm sorry, I know you want to kill him, but I need to have Stain as a torturer." And begins to take Stain away. Now, at the, you could say, secret military base, you could say, Deku pretty much, or you could say hideout, or you could say HQ. Deku pretty much is, asking Stain to, work with them, which Stain is saying no. He's only going to kill heroes, which Deku says, "I thought you would say that." Okay, and he begins to inject Stain in the neck, which Stain is, regularly trying to resist, but he passes out. Now, this is where Deku begins to, ask Alice to, implant fake memories and stuff and change his brain around, which Alice says okay. And saying, "Are you sure he's the perfect fit?" Which Deku says, "Yeah, just make sure to leave his combat skills and all that, but just change his memory around, and that he's a friend of mine, and we both work at the secret task force, and he wanted to be a torturer and all that stuff," which Alex says okay, and begins to, change his brain around, alter his memories, put a chip in there so he can't regain his memories or something, and take out like the block off memories and stuff, and put in fake ones. Which this is where Stain wakes up and says, Deku, why am I here? Like, why am I here in the bed?" Which Deku says, "Oh yeah, you can't remember, but we was at this mission, and when you was torturing someone, that explosion happened and you got injured." Which he's pretty much saying, yeah, I think I remember. And this is where Deku says, "Well, just take a rest and stuff and eat some food. I see you later." Which Stain says, "Okay." Now this is where Deku says, "Thank you, Alex." Which Alex says, "Anything for you, Deku." Now this is where Deku begins to head to X if he's alright, which he's saying, "Nah, there was someone with a suit, with this exosuit. It was kind of like a little bit like yours, but it was different." Which Deku says, "Huh, you could say." And we're gonna say it's the new exosuit. It's evolved to like a version 2, and Deku was using the version 2 instead of version 1. So yeah, pretty much. Deku's saying, "Damn, we'll get him next time." Which you're not saying yeah. This is where Deku is pretty much going back to the HQ and begins to start the mission to go to Russia to stop this, you could say, weapon deals and stuff. Which Deku and his task force team goes, and this is where they find the location. They begin to do the assassinations together and stuff, and get information and stuff. And Stain is with them, pretty much being the secret torturer. They torture the unit, the lieutenant unit, using his blood cup to freeze him still. Now, this is where they're setting and saying, "What are you going to do to me?" Which Stain is pretty much looking at his knife and saying, "Oh, and begins to chop off fingers one by one. Which, the lieutenant can't scream, and he's pretty much, he can't scream, but he's pretty much, feeling the 100%, 10 times pain worse. And this is where Stain says, "So you're going to tell me everything, or I'm going to chop off all your fingers one by one, up to the lines." And you know how you have the lines on your fingers, like up, like middle, top, and then bottom? Yeah, that's what Stain's doing to him. Like each finger at a time. Which is where the Senate begins to, confess to all the information and stuff. This is where Deku gets all the information, and they pretty much do their job and eradicate all the stuff. Now Deku is headed home, and the government, you could say that government, the higher up is pretty much saying good, like thank you for your service. Another job we're done. We'll let you know when we got the next mission. Which Deku says, understood, sir. And this is where the president, invites his son to a banquet to pretty much, to celebrate the success and stuff. What's happening in Japan, which Deku says, I love to, father. And this is where he says, can my unit come? Can my unit come? Which Deku said, which his father says, of course they can come. They're invited too. Which Dexter is saying, fuck yeah, and in which Jane and Loki and Jane are saying, all right. Now, this is where Deku is saying, all right, guys, calm down, and they begin to head back to the HQ. Now, Deku is pretty much getting Alessia dressed and also his daughter, and they're going to the banquet. While they're at the banquet, they're pretty much meeting big heroes and stuff, pro heroes and stuff. Which Deku is saying, oh my god, there's a lot of heroes here and stuff and all that. Which the president's saying, thank you all for coming, please enjoy your time and stuff. And this is where the president begins to confess and say, I'd like to make an announcement to everybody. I have a secret son that I haven't told you about, and I think it's time to come out. I'd like to introduce you my son, Mizuki Midoriya, which Deku is saying, what? And this is where, his wife is saying, secret son. And his kids too saying, him? And this is where he's pretty much saying, this is my son, and I like to tell y'all, he is our, you could say I'm very proud of him because he's a soldier, and also he is like my son that I wasn't taking care of, and I want to make it right to him. And I want to let y'all know, to make things right, he's my son, which everybody is, saying, Mr. President. And then they're asking, Mizuku, like Deku question to saying, is it true? Is he really your father? And, like his unit is pretty much backing everybody up, saying, alright, everybody calm down and stuff. And, the president pretty much telling his son that everything's going to be alright. He's going to make sure you don't get people on him and stuff. And Deku says, alright, you better be. Now, the next day, Deku goes to go to the school, and everybody in class is running up to him saying, is it true? Are you really the president's son? Like, are you really the president's son? I thought those are only his kids. You're the president's son? Like, secret son? Which Deku says, yes, he's my dad. I just thought he would just tell everybody, like later when he's not the president, but I guess he wanted to, get the more fame, I guess. I don't know. Which everybody's saying, wow, that's amazing. So, can you, get stuff that you want? Which Deku is saying, calm down. I can't really, get stuff like that. But, more likely, if I did ask him, he would probably give it to me. But I don't ask him. Which Wako is saying, well, that sucks. You don't ask him or anything? I would have asked my dad for anything if he was the president, which Deku says, I bet you would. Which Wako laughs and says, yeah. Now, this is where, the teacher raises his head saying that they're going to go to a camping trip, so everybody should get ready and stuff. Which Deku says, oh, okay, do I have to go? Which, raises his head says, yeah. It's regularly, a good camping place, but this is where it raises his head, says, but Deku, I'll talk to you later. Which, Deku says, alright, now everybody goes to class, leaves class saying they're all excited, can't wait to pack and stuff. And this is where Razorhead says, it's really a training camp trip. I want you to be there just in case if the villains, start to attack again, because I have a bad feeling about this. Which Deku says, alright, I got you. Which this is where, Deku heads home and begins to get his stuff packed. Now, this is part 4 of What If Deku was in the Black Ops. Hope y'all guys enjoy. I hope y'all guys liked it. But I'm Keyshawn Chia. Thanks for watching, and see you later, guys. Peace out. And time for me to do another video.
like you lost another one.